Oh, yeah.
For StevensvilleGamers, we are talking about Double Masters spoilers. Now, I was a little hard on the set at first, right? I had some criticisms about how with these Masters sets, they're usually uploading, or they usually spoil the really good rares that people are excited about first, and then the crappier cards later that are going to sort of fill up the $15 packs. But that hasn't exactly been true. They've spoiled some more pretty expensive rares and mythics since last time we looked at it. They've spoiled some turd bombs too, but no more turd bombs than the average set. I'm still of the opinion that a $15 pack should contain no turd bombs, even if you're getting 2 rares per pack. But they've also done a bang-up job at the uncommon slot, and they've revealed, I think, most of the commons and uncommons that will be taking the place of these box toppers that will be available as extended art box toppers. And I'm not mad about pretty much any of them. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to skip past these grainy pictures because none of these cards were particularly interesting. A Maelstrom. This 5-color thing, the enchantment, I forget what it's called, but it's a mythic, which is unfortunate. But Fatal Push got spoiled with uncommon. Great value for uncommon. It's a few bucks. Playable in a lot of different formats. Nobody's gonna be sad to open this. And it is also an extended border box topper that looks pretty good. This looks like maybe like a Theros in Fatal Push, but it looks really nice. And like, I get that people are mad that these couple dollar cards are getting printed as box toppers, but you gotta understand, like, there are gonna be people looking for those who want to, like, give the maximum bling to their modern deck, and they need some, like, extended border foil Fatal Pushes instead of just regular ones. So they're gonna demand a price, and it's good that they're choosing to make those instead of, like, doing literally every rare in the set, and we end up with, like, I don't know, a Boon Reflection extended art. Now that I say that, that's gonna happen, of course. We got Send Triplets, an EDH classic. Doesn't really see play in any other formats, but it's a classic EDH deck. Lets you cast cards from your opponent's hands. Pretty fun thing. So I think it fetches a price off of the back of that. At least the foils do. So Tuk the Explorer got confirmed. We knew that he was coming because the token that he makes got spoiled. Tuk the Returned. So Tuk the Explorer is confirmed. 3 mana, 1/1 haste. When it dies, you get a 5/5 legendary. Also, fine card. Archangel of Thune, one of the cheesier, greedier cards to put into modern Soul Sisters. Here at Mythic, which is unfortunate. I would hope that this kind of card would get downshifted because it's not really worth much. Hopefully, it won't be a box topper. Liege of the Tangle, very much a commander card. Unfortunate to see it at rare here because I don't think it's worth anything. And this is what I'm talking about some dead rares getting spoiled. Tuk, Liege of the Tangle, like those kinds of things, it really feels should not be a rare in a Masters set. Avenger of Zendikar is a Commander classic. It's been printed quite a bit, so I can't imagine it's too expensive, but this might be the kind of card they need to put in a set every once in a while to keep it cheap. Adorable Gay Brian, what is up? I didn't know you played Magic. Or if you're just here to say hi. What's up? We're talking about spoilers for the new set. It's a reprint set, but we're talking about spoilers, what's getting reprinted in the set. So Avenger of Zendikar is a pretty good card. It might be the kind of thing they just need to print every once in a while to keep it cheap, which, if that's the case, I don't know why they wouldn't just put it at rare. So Lightning Greaves is not going to be a rare. It's going to be a common or uncommon, but this is a commander staple. People are absolutely going to be looking for foil border extensions, so I would never be mad to pull the special version of this. Death's Shadow, a modern staple. Excellent card, sort of the namesake of the Death's Shadow deck, which aims to get your life total as low as possible by shocking in as many lands as possible and thought-seizing your opponent to gain control, so that you can have, like 6 life and then play Death's Shadow, which in that case is a 7/7 for 1 mana. Great card, good to see here at rare, because it was creeping up in price a little bit because it was only printed at rare in 2 different sets. 2 or 3. I'm not sure how many Modern Masters it was in, because it originally came out in, I want to say, Rise of the Eldrazi or World Wake. I think it was Rise of the Eldrazi. So then we've got Brainstorm, which I like this art a lot. It reminds me of Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, and I love that graphic novel. But yeah, this Brainstorm looks really cool. I'm not sure which art they're going to use. Okay, they're using the Is It lady. I really want them to go back to the Ice Age art for just one of these, where like the brain's splitting open. That one's really cool. But this art is alright. I don't have any qualms with it. I love this full art. It's very pretty. I imagine it's going to be pretty expensive because Brainstorm sees quite a bit of Commander play, and you know, it's played in Legacy as a 4-of and stuff. So people will be looking for this version. I feel like Brainstorm got a Amonkhet treatment, like the Amonkhet Expeditions. I don't actually remember. If that's the case, then people might want those instead of these, but maybe not, because a lot of people were pretty divided on whether those cards looked good. So I don't know. This Brainstorm is pretty. People might be looking for it. Mana Reflection, you know, Commander card. I don't know why they decided to put this cycle of bulk rares. I think the black one is the only one that sees any play, and like maybe Commander. Like there's so many better cards. There's so many cards that do this just for literally less mana. So it's unfortunate that this is a rare in a Masters set. We've got Basalt Monolith. Good to reprint an uncommon. A neat little. It's a combo card in EDH. There are a lot of ways to make infinite mana with Basalt Monolith. So good to see this here. Blood Moon is 2 in a red, non-basic lands or mountains. This was a modern staple. This is really good against Tron. It's really good against those greedy decks that just have mana bases full of shocks. And there are decks that play this in the main board. Stuff like Blue Moon, like a classic blue-red control deck that just tries to slam down Blood Moon and then, you know, cryptic your opponent out, just kind of out-tempo your opponent a little bit. Blood Moon is a good card. It keeps Modern fair. I'm happy that it exists, although I don't play it. If I want to answer Tron, I just crumble to dust. Just go straight for the kneecaps rather than allow them to get to 7 mana. Because if you Blood Moon them, they still have red mana, and if you crumble to dust them, they don't have any mana. So we also got Goblin Guide, a staple of the modern aggro decks. Good to see this here. This is one of the few cards that they've been sort of dutifully reprinting to keep the price down, and I'm happy that they're doing that again here. They're not upshifting it like they maybe could have, but it's a 1-mana 2/2 haste. When it attacks, defending player reveals the top card of their library. If it's a land card, they put it in their hand. You know it, you love it. It's the classic aggro card. It's a 1-mana 2/2 haste. You know, who cares about the downside? So big modern card. I believe it's a legacy card as well. Hidden Stockpile is, I'm imagining this is in here for the limited format. Yeah, it's a Revolt. You get a 1/1 at the beginning of your end step, and you can pay 1 and sack a creature and scry 1. So you can keep sacking. If you don't have Revolt, you can sack the creature that this gives you in order to, you can sack the creature that this gives you in order to, continually scry to find something worthwhile. But otherwise, it is going to keep giving you 1/1s if you keep losing permanents. So anytime you fetch a land, you get a 1/1. This card could be decent in Modern if Modern were a little bit slower, because this does trigger on the end step if you fetched a land, and you'll be fetching lands a lot of turns. So this and Vishkal Blood Arbiter were both spoiled by Nitsahan Magic. Wonderful channel. He does top 10s about things based on top 10s of different cards of different types based on their performance in high-level tournaments. Very informative channel. I love Nitsahan Magic, so shout out to him. This is the other card he got spoiled. 4 a white and double black for a 5/5 legendary vampire. Now this guy has flying and lifelink. You can sack a creature to put counters equal to its power on Vishkal, and you can remove all the counters from Vishkal to give a creature -1/-1 for each counter. So you can remove all the +1/+1 counters off of himself to give drops to attack or to power toughness to the target. This is a bulk rare. I feel like I've never. I think I've seen this as like a commander 1 or 2 times, but this is an incredibly expensive card in terms of mana cost for what it does. Like you have to be sacrificing a creature to remove anything, and you have to remove all the counters off of him at once. So like maybe he can come down and wipe the board a little bit, but yeah, he's not seeing play in any constructed format other than Commander, and I don't think he's expensive. I can't imagine he is. So unfortunate to see these kinds of cards at rare in a Masters set. I just gotta be honest. Now, Stoneforge Mystic. That is good to see at rare. That is a modern staple. I actually need them for Callblade. My girlfriend and I are going to share a playset of Stoneforge Mystics because I'm going to be playing Callblade and she's going to be playing sort of like D&T. She's going to be playing like a green-white blink deck that needs 4 Stoneforge Mystic, of course, because you grab Battle Skull, you grab your swords to make sure you're protected. Batter Skull, speaking of, Reprinting it Mythic, would have been cool to see it downshifted, but it's always been Mythic in the past. 5 mana equipment, living weapon, equipped creature, it's +4/+4 and has vigilance and lifelink. You pay 3 to return Battle Skull to its owner's hand, and that's like if the germ dies and you don't have another creature. The cool thing about Stoneforge Mystic, putting equipment from your hand onto the battlefield, Battle Skull comes in as a 4/4 vigilance lifelink, ready to block and then attack. So great combo there. Glad they're both being reprinted. Awesome together in Modern, since Stoneforge Mystic was not recently. Everything feels recent because of the pandemic, but since Stoneforge Mystic was unbanned, awesome combo in Modern, always been an awesome combo in Legacy. Then we've got Geth, Lord of the Vault, 4 in double black for a 5/5 Intimidate. X in a black, put target artifact or creature card with converted mana cost X from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control tapped. Then that player mills X cards. This is a card for Commander. It's a little bit too splashy and big and silly to see play in any real constructed format. But it's fun in Commander, and from what I understand, it fetches a little price tag because of that. Savageborn Hydra is awesome. I love this card. It's not good. It's not worth anything. Weird to see it at rare in a Master set. Unfortunate to see it at rare in a Master set. It's X, a red and a green for a double strike Hydra. And you can pay 1 in a red-green hybrid to put a counter on it anytime you cast a sorcery. So it does have double strike, and it can get bigger. So this card's obviously good in limited, and but it'll never be constructed playable just because it dies to removal before you can do anything with it. It's dope art though. Oh yeah, I don't know if you're talking about Geth or Savageborn Hydra. I'm not sure how the delay is on the stream, but I agree. I do like a lot of the art in this set is really awesome. I don't know if we're getting a extended border for Geth. I don't think we are, or it hasn't been spoiled yet. Yeah, it's not showing up. But yeah, the art in this set is top notch in general. I'm really liking the way it looks. Whoops, scrolled a little too far. Oh gosh. Okay, we're back to where we were. Yeah, I'm liking the art in this set a lot in general. Ravenous Trap. If an opponent had 3 or more cards put into their graveyard from anywhere this turn, you can pay 0 to cast this. Exile all cards in target player's graveyard. It's like a slightly more surprising Tormod's Crypt because you're putting it straight from the hand and activating it. But also slightly harder to pull off Tormod's Crypt. Like maybe you need to exile the graveyard and they haven't met that condition, so usually you're going to want to just go with Tormod's Crypt. I don't think this card is expensive, but it's I guess okay to see here. Ratchet Bomb is 2. You can tap to put a charge counter on it, and you can tap and sacrifice it to destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Ratchet Bomb. That is exactly, not that or less. So tap it 3 times, you can destroy all 3 draw permanents. Very, very slow version of Engineered Explosives. This is what people played when Engineered Explosives was expensive money-wise. Like, they would play Ratchet Bomb instead and it just wouldn't do the same job. Unfortunate to see this at rare here. I think this could totally be a fair uncommon, honestly. We've got an Avacyn Angel of Hope reprint, which she is just a commander card. But she's a pretty popular commander card, giving all of your permanents indestructible, and she has indestructible. You have to find some way to get rid of her without destroying her. Before you can answer any of their other permanents, so it's pretty cool, pretty strong. She's obviously really good and limited. If you can get her down, you pretty much win the game. 8/8 flying, vigilance, indestructible. All your other permanents have indestructible, and she is 8 mana as well. So Hannah Ship's Navigator, that's a very popular commander, and I think it sees some niche legacy play. Correct me if I'm wrong. Return an artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. You can the types of artifacts and enchantments that sack themselves, you can just keep returning them with her every turn, and that's generally where the power in that commander deck comes from. StevensvilleGamers says, "Damn, the Angel is strong." Yeah, it's strong. Believe it or not, there are better things you can be doing for 8 mana, and in a lot of constructed formats, you either have to not be getting to 8 mana, you either want to be so low to the ground that you'll never get to 8 mana, or you want to be doing the best possible thing you can do for 8 mana. And the thing about something like Avacyn is, yeah, she's indestructible, but not only is it really easy to exile stuff in Modern, which gets around indestructible, but also, she doesn't stop you from getting targeted with, Lightning Bolt or something. So if you have 6 life and your opponent has 2 Lightning Bolts, this Avacyn, you paid 8 mana for it and it didn't help you because your opponent killed you with 2 Lightning Bolts to the face. So it's good in Commander, where things are a little slower and jankier and more political with like multiplayer, but it's not very good in like constructed formats. I think this art's really cool though. I love the art on Avacyn. So we've got Maze of Ith, which takes a creature out of taps to take a creature out of combat, but it's a land that doesn't tap for mana, so it's a little awkward to include in your deck and to make space for. Oblivion Stone, the board wipe in Tron. Good to see here at Rare. It's always going to be nice to see a reprint of that because more new players are building Tron every day. Tron is a pretty simple deck to get into Modern with, to learn all your matchups with. So any reprint of Tron cards is good because it lets new players get into Modern relatively affordably. It's the board wipe in Tron, and maybe you can be playing like the sort of crappier win conditions in Tron. But you need Oblivion Stone. You can be, if you're playing a budget version of Tron, you can play the crappier win conditions, but you still need Oblivion Stone. So it's good to see that reprinted. Darksteel Forge is a 9-mana artifact. Artifacts you control have indestructible. This is a meme card. You can play in Commander. There are some fun combos where you play like Mycosynth Lattice, which makes every permanent an artifact, and then your artifacts are indestructible with Darksteel Forge, so it just makes all your permanents indestructible, but there are a lot of ways to do that. This card doesn't see play in constructed formats. It's in any Commander artifact deck, especially one that can cheat it out. It's pretty strong, but that's where its home is. So here we've got Inkwell Leviathan, 7 and double blue for a 7/11 Island Walk, Trample, Shroud. From what I understand, this saw play in some Legacy Reanimator decks for a while, just due to the fact that, like, if you're looking for something that can't be targeted by your opponent's removal, this is the biggest creature that is the case for, because it has that Shroud ability. So if you're cool with just killing them in 3 turns while they can't target you, for example, if you're playing against like Miracles and you're just betting on them not getting a Terminus, Inkwell Leviathan's pretty good there. Progenitor Mimic is 4, a green, and a blue for a Shapeshifter. You may have Progenitor Mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has, at the beginning of your upkeep, if this creature isn't a token, create a token that's a copy of this creature. So basically, it's 6 mana, it enters as a copy of any creature, and every turn you get another copy of that creature. So this is a pretty strong Commander card, obviously. You put it on whatever big dumb creature and you get it to enter the battlefield, you trigger every turn, you get another copy of it. But it's never going to see you play in any constructed format. It'll too often just die before you get another copy of it, and you paid 6 mana for it. But Commander card, and it's obviously great and limited if you're playing both of those colors. You just copy the biggest creature on the field, and if they don't answer it, you get another one the next turn, and then another one the next turn, and you just quickly snowball out of control. They absolutely have to answer it in limited. So, that's why it's at Rare. I believe it was a Mythic in the set that it was from. It was from Return to Ravnica block, and it was a Mythic rare. So it's good that they downshifted it. This would be awful to see a Mythic in this set. Veteran Explorer is a green for a 1/1 Human Soldier Scout. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield. Then each player who searches the library this way shuffles it. So this is like a ramp card, but it's symmetrical. Everybody gets to search for 2 lands. So when this guy dies, it just escalates the game 2 turns ahead, basically, for everyone. I believe this is another Commander card. There's a lot of Commander cards in this set, and I'm not super qualified to discuss those because I don't play that format. I don't think it's good. But right here we've got Vexing Shusher, which is 2 red-green hybrid mana. Goblin Shaman. It's a 2/2 that can't be countered, and you can pay a red-green hybrid to make target spell uncounterable. This card would be good if you could give itself hexproof or something, but the issue is they'll just remove this and then start countering your spells again. And they can remove this for 1 mana with Path, Push, Bolt. In Legacy, you have Swords to Plowshares. There's just so many ways to get rid of this card. But I believe it does see some fringe modern play in some combo decks that don't want their combo creatures to be countered. So overall, not a bad haul of spoilers, and we'll look over what we've gotten so far today. These appear to all be in different languages. We've got Wound Reflection, and I forget what the red one is even called. Rage Reflection. Wound Reflection and Rage Reflection. This cycle is in this set, unfortunately, and we've just got to deal with it. Wound Reflection is the only one that sees a decent amount of play, and that's in Commander. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to life they lost this turn, so it basically just doubles your opponent's life loss. And Rage Reflection, which is just a way too expensive way to give your creatures double strike. We've got Merciless Eviction. For a white and a black, you can choose to either destroy all creatures, destroy all planeswalkers, destroy all artifacts, or destroy all enchantments. So very good, very popular commander card because it's flexible in terms of what it removes. Whatever the most threatening card type is, you can choose that when you play it, and blow all of those up. I believe it saw standard play when it was legal, just because like it's a board wipe, but also if you're playing against control, you can get rid of their planeswalkers or get rid of the like 2 O-rings that they laid down. So it's a very, very versatile card. We have Ad Nauseam, which is part of a modern combo. What the card actually does is it's 3 and double black. You reveal the top card of your library, you lose life equal to its mana cost, and put it in your hand, and then you can choose to keep going, and you can choose to keep going as long as you want. But basically, the idea is that if you keep revealing kind of expensive cards, it'll eventually kill you, because you lose life equal to the number of equal to the mana cost of the cards you reveal, and you don't get to know what you revealed until obviously you've committed to revealing it. So it would be a really fun, interesting card draw card, except it's part of an infinite combo in Modern, where you play a card that says you can't lose this turn, and then you play Ad Nauseam and draw your whole library, and it doesn't matter that your life total is negative because you can't lose this turn, and then you have your whole deck in your hand, so you can combo out. So Ad Nauseam is a fun card. And then Thoughtseize, very excited to see this, especially that they didn't upshift it, and they're using that beautiful classic Lorwyn art. This I'm very excited for. So it's a classic Modern card. It's 1 black, XD best combo, just add deck. Well, yeah. Thoughtseize is 1 black for a sorcery. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it and discard it, and you lose 2 life. So the losing 2 life is sometimes a downside, but sometimes you're playing that Death Shadow card and you want to lose life, so it's just helpful. But basically, this is the universal. It can get rid of any spell from your opponent's hand for 1 mana. So on turn 1, it gets rid of any spell, and that's why it's considered widely the best discard card in Modern. People go back and forth between this and Inquisition of Kozilek, which doesn't make you lose 2 life, but it can only discard something that costs 3 or less. So it has the benefit of not losing you to life, and often most Modern decks won't play anything that costs more than 3, but sometimes they do, and then Inquisition of Kozilek gives you less options than Thoughtseize does. But I would say probably half the time, even if they do have something that costs more than 3, you want to get rid of something that costs 3 or less anyway, because they're closer to playing it. So Thoughtseize is pretty awesome. Good to see here. Very nice. I like the the showcase art we have here with the fairy, the person made of puzzle pieces, and the fairy has stolen the puzzle piece in the front of their brain, and they're like leaking light out. This art is really awesome. And it was spoiled by Shota Yasuoka, former world champion, so that's pretty cool. Oh, I guess all of these were. I think I gave him 5 spoilers. Jeez. Okay, well, we got Thoughtseize. That's really exciting. And that's actually all of the new spoilers for today. So I know this was kind of a long video, but I appreciate you guys chilling out and looking at spoilers with me. This will go up on the StevensvilleGamers YouTube channel, so shout out to them. And you can find more of my content at the Gut Shot podcast, which I host with Aggressive Rhetoric, aka Will. And you can find that on Spotify, on YouTube, on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast. You can find that everywhere. Just look for Gut Shot podcast, and that is a Magic the Gathering themed podcast. We recorded an episode yesterday that's my favorite so far, and I think you guys are going to love it. So go check that out when it goes up, probably like this Sunday. But yeah, thank you for joining me, everybody, and I appreciate you hanging out and looking at Magic spoilers with me. I hope you all have a good day. Goodbye.